Everybody, welcome back to the Half Hour of Power. I am Joe. Brandon is here. Brandon,
Yo,
somebody's
yo,
in the
Joe. What?
somebody's in the
No,
room with you.
yeah.
Oh, all right. You better do a good job, or he is going to take you out.
He already got his hand on my shoulder, so.
All right, but that's very cool that he wanted to sit in with you and see how we do this. Very nice. Very cool. So we also have our friend here with us who's going to help us talk about this movie, and we have made it to this movie, Frankenstein, the television movie from 1992, with Patrick Bergin as Victor Frankenstein and Randy Quaid as the monster. We have made it. We wanted to watch this one together, so we just waited until we could do that. And we are also able to have a friend of ours watch it with us, thanks to the miracle of technology, even though he's on the other side of the world. Mr. Special guest Mark from the Toys of the Time Gone By. Hey, Mark, how are
Hey,
you?
what's going on? You guys having a
Very
good
nice.
time?
That's very cool that all
who's
worked
that
out.
over
We could
there?
all watch that together. We had a bit of a watch party. Got to watch this movie.
Did Jason
Um,
watch it too?
Jason is making his presence known there. Brandon is sweating. So very good, very good. So Brandon, if you're not
Yeah,
too intimidated,
yeah.
can you guess the Rotten Tomatoes on this movie?
I'm gonna say the critic score was 25.
You are way off on that. It is 17% critic score. I think that's a little rough on this movie, especially after some of the Frankenstein movies we have seen that have higher scores and don't deserve them at all. Brandon, what is the audience rating on this?
A 20?
20. 20.
Alright.
47%. The
Oh,
audience was a little bit more forgiving, loving of it being a television movie. So we did these massive series of Frankenstein movies last October. Brandon, this was one of the last ones we wanted to get to, but could not get together to fit it in due to our wildly varying schedules. And I think at the end of that, we came to the conclusion, at least I did. I don't want to speak for you unless you've changed your mind. My conclusion is still the same, that the Hallmark version of Frankenstein is the closest to the book. What do you say? What do you think?
I'm gonna give it a tie.
A tie.
Yeah, I give it a tie.
What's it tied with?
Um, this movie and the Hallmark Frankenstein, I kind of give them
Okay.
a tie because this one was also following to the book, also not verbatim, but it was there just like the Hallmark. It didn't do it too verbatim, but it was the most closest. And I'd say this one is close to it also. So
Yeah, I'd agree with that. It's fairly close to the book. It follows the book pretty well. It strays off quite a bit though, also. But considering some of the versions we have seen that go way off in left field, Frankenstein: A True Story. We're looking at you right now, and Mark's favorite, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, goes way off in left field, way more out in left field than this one. So, Mark, can you, since you weren't able to be on the Mary Shelley's Frankenstein show with us last year, can you just express your love and admiration for that film and how great of a director that Kenneth Branagh is?
Well, I can say one thing about it. It was like Goodfellas meets Frankenstein.
Lots of mob hits in that movie. I think
Oh, yeah.
Brandon and I counted up all the mob hits and
I make you an offer you
airport
can't
heists
refuse.
that were in that movie. That is right. So, Brandon, had you heard of this version of Frankenstein before?
No.
Mark, had you ever heard of this version?
No, not at all.
I saw this when it came out. So I'd read about it in Fangoria. Now that is a magazine, and they used to print things on paper and bind them together.
Really?
Yeah, I know some people watching us now don't know what that is, but I remember reading about this originally aired on TNT.
So that explains a lot of the cuts in the
yeah.
movie.
So yeah, I think we said this. This was a television movie, but let us see what the plot synopsis says it's about. It's probably pretty. Oh, here we are. Dr. Victor von Frankenstein creates his creature, who escapes into the countryside to find that humanity has only pain and sorrow for him. But as a psychic link between created and creator draws the two ever nearer until their paths must inevitably cross again. Wow. That's a pretty good one, I think.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the basic plot of this film. Brandon, what do you think about that?
It's right on the head.
Very nice, very nice. Yes. So this one takes some of these. It does the creation differently, as all of them do. Most of them use electricity, though. Isn't that what we found, Brandon? Most of the movies do.
Most of the movie, yeah.
So this one does. I mean, basically, they're a bit of a clone.
Yeah, so like electromagnetic kind of like thing. And
Yeah, so he's basically Victor Frankenstein has cloned himself, and there was an accident that happened before he could finish it. So the monster is distorted and deformed, particularly about the face and neck.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty interesting to do the clone type thing in it. Since the book doesn't really say how the creation was, that's one place where people can put their spin on stuff.
Yep.
Kenneth Branagh. That was the only place you should have done that.
Well, that was Rockstar Frankenstein.
That's right. That was heavy metal. Yeah. So, but anyway, Mark, you
Yeah.
What did you think of this movie? What did you think of the creation in particular?
I thought it was original. I thought it was a nice little spin on something that just to make it fresh. You know, and it was to me it was a pretty darn epic movie. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, it's pretty good looking scale for a TV movie, especially from 1992. I think, to be fair, wasn't the Frankenstein a True Story a TV movie also, Brandon? Am I remembering that right?
Yeah, it was.
And that looked pretty good too. But this one I think was better than Frankenstein a True Story.
Yeah, way better than.
I just don't get why it's got such low scores, because this is better than the 94 one.
Yeah. Well,
I just don't get it.
The monster just runs off, and again they do this a lot in the movies where Victor Frankenstein is like in awe and loves his creature. But in the book, he doesn't love his creature at all. He's horrified by what he has done. I don't think any of them ever captured that, if I remember right. And this one doesn't either. But the way they did it, I think it serves with what they were doing. Although I do wish they had, as Brandon and I have said often, I wish they could just make the book. I wish they could follow the book a little closer, which I think we have seen they can do that. I mean, Hallmark did it of all places.
Well, 1910 Frankenstein, he was horrified by what he made.
I mean, he went to sleep, but yeah. So we did talk about that on that movie.
Yeah.
And he did go to sleep in the book. he was horrified and he went to sleep.
But I mean, at least they
Um,
did it right.
At
in
least they did,
1910.
yes. One of the other things is this time the blind man helps him straight away, meets him straight away.
Yeah, and there wasn't no son and daughter there neither. Well, son.
Yeah, those characters are not in it.
Yeah. And the book of Prometheus wasn't in there. And I mean, not Prometheus.
Yeah, the
Paradise
monster
Lost.
doesn't find Victor's diary because in the book he grabs his coat, puts on Victor's coat, and there's his diary, his notes inside there, and that's how he finds out how to go there. In this one, they use the psychical connection, the link between the two, which I think worked out pretty good for what they were doing. He seemed like a pretty angry monster. I mean, that was one of the things we were talking about, that most of them are not angry enough for us. At least not for me. Because in the book, when he kills William, he knows who he is, he knows what he's doing, and he was happy to do it.
Yep.
But I don't think any of the movies he's done it that way. He was crying about it in the Hallmark version, wasn't he? He was not happy to do it.
Yeah,
but this one, it's an accident.
Yeah, but still, I mean, none of them got any of it right, and most of it was off screen.
Yeah, yeah. So this one, this scene in particular, I thought was funny, was because Justine was there. She sees who killed William, how William died, but she is just absolutely horrified by it. And then when she's telling people what she saw, she can't describe what she saw. So the only thing she says is the devil did it. And of course, she took off William's necklace. And then the priest immediately looks at her and goes, "Why would you take that from him? I gave it to him. How dare you?" And then he says, "Who broke this? Who broke this?" And yeah, Elizabeth is there saying she's not in her right mind here, bud. And the priest looks at her and says, "Oh, who broke this?" And then Justine screams. Mark, what did she scream? That's right. She screamed, "The devil! The devil broke it! The devil!" And she starts screaming again. And the priest looks at her and he goes, "Oh my God, she's possessed!" What an oddball priest that was.
I just kind of was having an issue with the audio going out and on in certain areas.
Well, you might want to unclog your ears on that one.
That's because my mic was turned on.
Mark was breaking technology at that point. But did you have a favorite scene of this, Mark, from what you got to see?
My favorite scene of the movie is when he was kind of like learning with the old man. I just thought that was a really good scene where he's learning and he was protecting the old man.
What about you, Brandon?
Good.
My favorite scene is when he killed Carvel, Victor's dad, and Elizabeth.
That was a good scene because you get to see the aftermath, which some people might criticize that for saying, "Oh, they couldn't show it because it's not shown." You just see the aftermath of it. You get to, and it looks like it was brutal.
Very
but
brutal.
I think that's effective sometimes. You don't have to show everything happening at every single time. Just seeing the aftermath, and then your brain like tries to fill in what had happened, and it might be cooler in your head what had happened.
That I think
kind
is
of
the point.
One of the neat things about it.
That's what I think the point is. It's to use your imagination. You don't need that.
Yeah, just because film is a visual medium doesn't mean you have to show every single thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's one thing that kind of got me in the movie was the guys on.
Oh,
we lost Brandon.
Oh no!
I can't believe that we lost him. That's outrageous.
It is totally outrageous.
Mark, would you
Yes.
watch this movie again?
Yes, I would actually watch it. I think it's on Tubi. I think it's on Tubi, right? I would
doubt
watch it
that.
again.
Well, I know when I was looking for it last year, I couldn't find it.
Oh, I would definitely watch it again.
I found the DVD copy of it because, like I said, I watched it when it came out. I read about it in the Fangoria when it was coming out. I was kind of interested in it, and I knew even at that time that the Mary Shelley's Frankenstein was coming out in a few years because news about that was starting to trickle out. After Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah.
Unless this was right before that, because this is 92 and Bram Stoker's Dracula was 92, wasn't it?
Yes, I think it was 92 also.
So maybe that was a little bit before that. But anyway, this I don't know. I don't know what happened. He might not be back. Well, the technology smiled upon us today. Looks like we have Brandon back here. Let's bring it back up and get
All right.
Hey, Brandon.
There we go.
Was not pleased with you. Okay. Brandon, would you watch this movie again? Absolutely. I bet you he has no mic. He took him out. All right. So, I don't know. There is more Frankenstein projects coming about. Earlier this year, there was a movie called Lisa Frankenstein, which I kind of wanted to see because that was directed by Robin Williams' daughter. And it looked kind of like it could be okay. Guillermo del Toro is doing a Frankenstein movie, which I think just wrapped a week ago or something like that. I think I just saw the news on that thing wrapping up. And then I'm sure that when the Wolfman comes out, that they're going to go, play one all. Will you please make a Frankenstein movie for us and make it contemporary and for modern audiences? Because those people in 1820 didn't know anything. And it was written by a woman.
Oh. I like the period pieces.
Yes, exactly. But anyway, I think that about wraps that up for us right here. Brett. Yeah, he's gone. That's a good time.
Technical difficulty.
Yeah, we got a little bit of technical difficulty. It's all right. This was fun. Mark, again, thanks for being on. Mark from the Toys of the Time Gone By.
You're welcome.
Where can people find you, Mark?
You can find me on YouTube, Toys of the Time Gone By.
Looks like Jason took out.
Oh no, that's
Brandon.
why.
All right,
that's why.
Co-host Brandon is now dead. So
Jason
we'll have
took
to
him
see
out.
what happens in the coming weeks. See if he reappears somewhere, comes out of Crystal Lake or something. We'll do some more Frankenstein movies as they come out. Definitely looking forward to the Guillermo del Toro Frankenstein movie. Are you looking forward to that, Mark?
Got to look it up. I didn't know he was making one.
Yeah. So I mean, oh my gosh, we gotta get.
We got it. We got to help Brandon out here.
All right, and if you guys like what we're doing or interested in what we're doing, you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Rumble, and like and subscribe. And let us know what horror film we're not doing that we should be doing. And we'll talk to you all
Mo2, baby.
Time.